Peppa and the Backyard Circus. Bang, bang, bang. It is a sunny day. Peppa and her friends are visiting Grandpa and Granny Pig. Grandpa Pig is using his hammer. It's a circus tent, says Peppa. Hooray! Everyone shouts. Ooh, says Peppa. Can we see the circus, Grandpa Pig? This isn't a circus tent, says Grandpa Pig. It looks like a circus tent, says Peppa. What is it? It is for Granny Pig's garden party, he says.
Wow!
Peppa doesn't know what a garden party is. Grandpa Pig tells her it's a party where grown-ups stand around and talk. It doesn't sound like fun to Peppa. She has a better idea. Let's put on our own show, says Peppa. We'll call it Peppa's Circus. Granny Pig thinks having the circus at her garden party is a very good idea.
Hooray!
Everyone wants to join the circus.
Wow!
Danny Dog wants to be the strong man. Emily Elephant wants to be the juggler. My father used to work in a circus, says Emily Elephant. He did? asked Peppa. What did he do? Peppa knows that sometimes there are elephants in the circus. He was the ticket taker, says Emily. Granny Pig brings the dress-up box. There are lots of fun things inside. Danny Dog finds polka dot shirts and a stick-on moustache. My strongman suit, he says. Peppa finds a hat. Pedro Pony finds a clown costume and a horn. Rebecca Rabbit does makeup. Hold still, Pedro, she says. Everyone is dressed and ready for the show. Grandpa, says Peppa, I don't have anything to do. Oh no. Well, you can be the ringmaster, he says. What does the ringmaster do? asks Peppa. The ringmaster is the boss, says Grandpa Pig. Peppa likes that idea. I will be the ringmaster boss, she says. Good, says Grandpa. You can say, welcome to my circus. Come and see the amazing feats of Daring Do.
Wow!
Granny's guests start to arrive. Everyone crowds inside the striped tent. Welcome to my circus, shouts Peppa. Come and see the amazing feat. The circus begins. Prepare to be scared, Peppa says. Is it a tiger? Rebecca asks. No, it's Candy Cat. Now watch the amazing cyclists. George, Richard and Edmund. Here is the strong man, Danny Dog. Danny shows his muscles. He wants to show the crowd how strong he is. He lifts Peppa. Ooh, say the crowd. Now please welcome Emily Elephant, who will juggle 2 potatoes and 1 egg. Toss, drop, toss, drop, toss. When Pedro the Clown walks into the ring, everyone laughs. Spray! Everyone laughs again. Splat! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and elephants, cats and ponies, says Peppa. Thank you for coming to my circus. The end. Peppa's Gym Class. Peppa and her friends are going to the gym today. Everybody has got their gym kit on, except Pedro. Pedro is wearing a superhero costume. I thought he was dressing up day to day, he says. Grumpy Rabbit is the gym teacher. He swings down from the top of the climbing frame.
Wow!
Do we have to do that? Gasps Emily Elephant. No! Laughs Grumpy Rabbit. That's only for big athletes like me! Let's warm up, shouts Grumpy Rabbit. Stretch, stretch, stretch! Everybody reaches up to the ceiling. Now wobble like a jelly, says Grumpy Rabbit. Everybody shakes like a jelly on a plate. Hee hee! It is time for the first adventure. I want you to pretend that this room is a jungle, whispers Grumpy Rabbit. But where are the trees? asks Susie Sheep. You'll have to pretend, replies Grumpy Rabbit. Now imagine a river, says Grumpy Rabbit. Walk on this beam to get across it. Peppa and her friends tiptoe across the river. Well done, my little explorers, cheers Grumpy Rabbit. Grumpy Rabbit shows the children how to swing across a swamp full of crocodiles. That's what he did when he was in the jungle. I can't see any crocodiles, says Pedro. You've got to pretend, whispers Peppa. What's our next adventure? asks Danny Dog. Grumpy Rabbit points to a funny table. This is a vault, he says. Pretend that it's a dinosaur and crawl through its legs. Peppa and her friends start crawling. Madame Gazelle comes back in. Did you have a good gym class, children? She asks. Yes, cries Peppa. We made it through the jungle. You are real little explorers now, laughs Grumpy Rabbit. The end. Peppa Pig and a busy day at school. It's Special Talent Day at school, and Peppa is very excited. She has many different talents, so she hasn't decided which one to share.
Wow!
Maybe I will jump rope, says Peppa, or sing or dance. Mummy Pig, Daddy Pig, Peppa and George eat a good pancake breakfast. They get in the car and go to school. Peppa's friends have already arrived. Pedro Pony, Candy Cat and Rebecca Rabbit are there.
Hooray!
Good morning, says Madame Gazelle. Are you ready for Special Talent Day? We'll share our talents this afternoon, but first we have a very busy day. The class practices counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, begins Madame Gazelle. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, shouts the class. Then Madame Gazelle asks the class to name things that begin with each letter of the alphabet. A. Apple. B. Balloon. C. Cake. D. Dinosaur. E. Eggs. F. Fish. G. Guitar. H. Hat. I for ice cream. J for jam. K for kite. L for ladder. M for monkey. N for newspaper. O for owl. P for pizza. Q for queen. R for rocket. S for scooter. T for truck. U for umbrella. V for violin. W for watermelon. X for xylophone. Y for yarn. And Z for Zoe Zebra. Then it's time to play store. Peppa and Susie are the shopkeepers. "What would you like?" asked Peppa. "Do you have any cookies?" asked Danny Dog. "No," says Peppa. "But we do have a toy telephone that will be $1. "Thank you," says Danny Dog. "Do you have a loaf of bread?" asked Pedro Pony. "No," says Peppa, "but we do have a dollhouse." "Well, okay," says Pedro Pony. "What can I buy for $100? asked Rebecca Rabbit. "How about a carrot?" says Peppa. Everyone laughs. Next, it's time to paint. Peppa wants to teach George how to paint a flower. Wow. "Make a circle," says Peppa. George paints a green circle. Then he paints a green zigzag line. "That's not right, George," says Peppa. George keeps painting. Madame Gazelle looks at Peppa's painting. "What a lovely flower," she says. "And George has painted a dinosaur. Perfect." At lunchtime, Peppa and George eat sandwiches with Danny Dog. There's watermelon for dessert. There's a new tire swing and Peppa wants to try it out. She squeezes in. "Help!" she cries. "I'm stuck." "Oh no!" Peppa looks funny in the swing, but Peppa doesn't think being stuck is funny. Her friends try to help. They pull and pull and pull. Out comes Peppa. "Let's play on the slide," she says. "It's time for music, music, music," sings Madame Gazelle. "Everyone choose an instrument." Danny chooses the bongo drums. "Look, I've got cymbals," says Rebecca. Zoe gets maracas. Freddie chooses a triangle. And Pedro has a tambourine. Everyone plays together. Boom, bang, crash. "Oh my," cries Madame Gazelle. "That sounds a bit more like noise than music. Let's go one at a time. Then each of you can join in." Ding, 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 goes the triangle. Boom, 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 goes Peppa's bass drum. Bang, 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 go the bongo drums. Crash, 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 go the cymbals. Shaka, 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 go the maracas. "Lovely," says Madame Gazelle. Finally, it is time for special talent. Everyone takes a turn. Danny Dog's special talent is drumming. Bang, bang, bang. Pedro Pony does a magic trick. Everyone closes their eyes and he makes a glass of water disappear.
Hooray!
Zoe Zebra sings. Candy Cat jumps rope. Oh no, thinks Peppa. Now I can't do either of those. It's a good thing I'm good at dancing too. Then Susie Sheep gets up. I'm going to dance, she says. Oh no, says Peppa. What's the matter? Asks Madame Gazelle. I don't have a special talent that hasn't been done already, says Peppa. Of course you do, says Madame Gazelle. Think of something you really like to do. Peppa is quiet. She thinks. Then she smiles. I know, she says. She grabs her boots. Follow me. I'm the best at jumping in muddy puddles. Peppa jumps in a muddy puddle. Then everyone jumps in muddy puddles. This has been a very good day at school, says Peppa. And it has. The end. Peppa Pig, Fun in the Sun. Peppa Pig has fun. She has fun in the sun. She has fun when she jumps. Jump, jump, jump. She has fun when she hunts. Hunt, hunt, hunt. She has fun when she tugs.
Hooray!
Tug, tug, tug. She has fun when she runs. Run, run, run.
Wow!
She has fun in the mud. Mud, mud, mud. Peppa had fun in the mud. Now she must have fun in the tub. Scrub, scrub, scrub. The end. Peppa Pig and the Great Race. It's a beautiful sunny day, and Daddy Pig has something special planned for Mummy Pig, Peppa Pig, and George.
Hooray!
It's a surprise, says Daddy Pig. But we'll have to race to the fairground. We can't be late. Daddy Pig knows the fastest way to get there is by car. Everyone piles into the family car. Let's go, says Peppa. The car starts to drive, but then the car stops. Oh no! Oh no, says Mummy Pig. Something is wrong. We'll have to find another way to go. Let's ride our bikes, says Peppa. Everyone finds a helmet and gets on a bike. Let's go, says Daddy Pig. Biking uphill is hard and very slow. Peppa likes riding downhill. Whee! Look, there's Miss Rabbit in her fire engine, says Peppa. can you help us? We're racing to get to the fairground. Sorry, Peppa, calls Miss Rabbit. We're on a turtle rescue mission. Mummy Pig sees something coming near. It's Grandpa Pig's train.
Hooray!
Grandpa Pig stops the train. All aboard, he calls. The train pulls into the station. This is as far as we can go, says Grandpa Pig. Daddy, how will we get to the fairground? asked Peppa. Daddy Pig looked around. A digger, an ambulance, the ice cream truck. Ugh, says George. Maybe we can take the bus, says Peppa. The bus is full. Oh no! Sorry, says Miss Rabbit. But you can borrow my plane. Mummy Pig, Daddy Pig, Peppa and George climb into Miss Rabbit's plane.
Wow!
Away we go, shouts Peppa. Mummy Pig lands the plane at the airport.
Hooray!
How will we get to Daddy's surprise? asked Peppa. We'll have to run, says Daddy Pig. They run. And then Peppa sees it.
Wow!
Oh, Daddy, she says. A hot air balloon. Loon, says George. It was a great race, and the balloon ride is the best surprise. The end. Peppa Pig, read it yourself. The family computer. Peppa, George, Daddy Pig, computer, computer game, work, Mummy Pig. Mummy Pig has work to do. She is on the computer. Daddy, says Peppa, can we go and see Mummy? Yes, if you can be good, says Daddy Pig. Can George and I see you work? Says Peppa. Yes, if you can be good, says Mummy. Can we play a computer game? Says Peppa. No, Peppa, I have work to do, says Mummy. Mummy Pig has work to do. Can we do your work with you? Says Peppa. Then she taps the computer. No, Peppa, says Mummy. The computer is not working. Sorry, Mummy, says Peppa. Daddy Pig, says Mummy. You're the expert. Can you come and mend the computer? Sorry, I am not very good at mending computers, says Daddy Pig. Daddy Pig taps the computer. He turns it off. Then he turns it on. Off, on. You have mended it, Daddy, says Peppa. Yes, I am an expert at mending computers, says Daddy. Can we play a computer game with you? Says Peppa. Yes, you can play your game, says Daddy Pig. Peppa and George are playing the computer game. It is a very good game. I see the computer is working again, says Mummy Pig. The end. Peppa Pig, read it yourself. Going boating. Peppa, Miss Rabbit, boat. Emily Elephant, Danny Dog, Captain Dog, Pedalo. Peppa and her family are going boating.
Hooray!
Boats, come and get a boat here, says Miss Rabbit. Not these boats, says Daddy Pig. We would like one of these easy ones, please. These pedalos are easy, says Mummy Pig. I would like a pedalo, please, says Daddy Pig. Peppa and her family all get into the pedalo. You will have to pedal, says Miss Rabbit. Emily Elephant and her family are going boating too. We would like this one, please, says Daddy Elephant. Daddy Dog and Captain Dog are going boating too.
Wow!
We would like this one, please, says Captain Dog. Everyone is boating. You have to pedal, Daddy, says Peppa. This is not so easy, Daddy Pig says. All of the boats are here.
Hooray!
It is time for a picnic. Everyone loves picnics. It's time to come in, says Miss Rabbit. So, who will get back first, says Mummy Pig. Daddy Pig pedals and pedals. This is not easy at all, he says. It is Captain Dog who gets back first.
Hooray!
I love boating, he says. Everyone loves boating. The end. Peppa Pig, read it yourself, little creatures. George, Peppa Pig, B, Grandpa Pig, Granny Pig, Honey, Shell, Snail.
Wow!
This is Peppa Pig. This is George. George is her little brother. This is Grandpa Pig. And this is Granny Pig. Peppa, George and Grandpa are in the garden.
Hooray!
Grandpa gives Peppa a lettuce.
Wow!
What is that? Says Peppa. It's a little snail, says Grandpa. George likes a snail. Where is the snail now, Grandpa? Says Peppa. It is in its shell, says Grandpa.
Wow!
The shell is the snail's little house. George wants to be a snail in a little house. I want to be a snail in a little house too, says Peppa. Grandpa, we will eat your lettuce. Now Peppa and George's friends are in the garden too. Buzz, buzz, buzz. What is that? They say. Some bees, says Grandpa. Where are they going? Says Peppa. They will be going to make some honey, says Grandpa.
Wow.
I like honey, says Peppa. The friends want to be bees. Buzz, 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 they say. Granny Pig is in the garden. Granny gives Peppa and her friends some honey to eat. I like bees, says Peppa. We like bees too, say Peppa's friends. We like to eat the honey they make. The end. Peppa Pig. Peppa goes to the library. Peppa and George are tucked up in bed and Mummy Pig is reading them a story about a red monkey. Oh, says Peppa. We always have this story. It's boring. Can I choose another one? Peppa looks on the shelf and finds a new book. The Wonderful World of Concrete, reads Mummy Pig. Daddy, is this yours? Oh, gasped Daddy Pig. I borrowed that from the library a long time ago. In the morning we'll go to the library, says Mummy Pig, but now it's bedtime. Please read your book to us, Daddy, says Peppa. Daddy Pig reads, but everyone falls asleep. Snore, snore. It is morning, and Peppa and her family are driving to the library. What's a library, Daddy? asked Peppa. It's a place you borrow books from, says Daddy Pig. Peppa, George, Mummy and Daddy Pig have arrived at the library. What a lot of books, shouts Peppa. Shh, whispers Daddy Pig. You must be quiet in the library. People are reading. Mummy Pig returns the books. Beep boop. The computer says, Daddy Pig's book is very late. You've had this book out for 10 years, says Miss Rabbit. Naughty Daddy, whispers Peppa. It's time for everyone to choose their books. Dinosaur, wow! cries George, choosing a book about dinosaurs. Peppa chooses 3 books for herself, and Daddy Pig finds another one about concrete. You must make sure to bring your books back, says Miss Rabbit. I'll make sure Daddy remembers, says Peppa. Yes, Peppa, adds Daddy Pig. I'm sure you will. The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa's Big Race. Peppa's family are going on a bike ride. Mummy Pig, Daddy Pig and George all ride together on a tandem. Are you sure you won't get tired, Peppa? Says Daddy Pig. I'm sure, Daddy, says Peppa. I will ride my own bike. Peppa likes being ahead of Mummy Pig, Daddy Pig and George. I'm winning, cries Peppa. It's not a race, Peppa, says Daddy Pig. It's a gentle bike ride. Cycling uphill is difficult. I don't like going uphill, calls Peppa. I think we won the race, calls Daddy Pig. But I wasn't racing that time, says Peppa, panting. Hello, ducks, says Peppa as she rings her bell. We're cycling today. The ducks quack as she goes by. Peppa's friends are riding their bikes too. We're going to have a race, says Danny Dog. Do you want to race too? asks Susie Sheep. Yes, please, says Peppa, as long as it's a downhill race. Daddy Pig honks a horn to tell everyone to go. Danny Dog is in the lead, but then just at the last moment, Peppa overtakes him. Peppa reaches the bottom of the hill first. I win, cries Peppa. Well done, Peppa! Everyone cheers. Thank you, says Peppa. I am very good at cycling downhill. It's time to go home. I'm tired. Can I ride your bike, Daddy? So Daddy Pig rides Peppa's bike home. Do you like my bike, Daddy? Says Peppa. Yes, says Daddy Pig, but it is a little small. The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa's New Friend. Peppa and her friends are drawing pictures at school. Then someone new arrives. Children, today we have a visitor, Madame Gazelle says. The visitor's name is Mandy Mouse. If Mandy Mouse likes a playgroup, she will come every day. All the children say hello. I'm Peppa Pig, says Peppa. We're drawing pictures. Mandy draws her own picture. That's really good, says Peppa. At playtime, all of the children race down the hill. Mandy is very fast. Why do you have a wheelchair? Peppa asked. Because my legs don't work, Mandy says, but I get around fine. Outside, the children decide to play basketball. The team that gets the ball through the hoop wins. Mandy catches the ball and wheels very fast. She passes the ball to Gerald. He throws the ball in the hoop. Their team wins.
Hooray!
Everyone has lots of fun. Soon playtime is over. The children hurry back inside. The hill back to the school is very big. Can I help you? Peppa asks Mandy. I can do it myself, Mandy says, but it is a big hill. Peppa pushes Mandy up the hill. Thank you, Peppa, Mandy says. I could do it on my own, but it's easier with two. Back inside, the parents arrive to pick up the children. So, Mandy, Madame Gazelle says, would you like to come every day? Yes, please, Mandy says. Everyone cheers.
Hooray!
Mandy Mouse loves her new friends, and her friends love Mandy Mouse. The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa's super noisy sound book. It is a very rainy day. Peppa and George are in their house. "We are going to have a quiet day inside," says Mummy Pig. "Aww," sighs Peppa and George, disappointed. Peppa and George love going outside to play. "Ho ho. Cheer up, you two," smiles Daddy Pig. "You can help me mend the kitchen cupboard." "Kitchen cupboards are boring," says Peppa. "I don't like the rain," giggles George. Just then, the telephone rings. It's Mrs. Rabbit, Rebecca Rabbit's mummy. "Can Rebecca and Richard come to play?" she asks. "Of course," says Mummy Pig. "Yippee!" cheers Peppa. Rebecca and Richard Rabbit arrive. Richard has brought his brand new toy car. "Vroom, vroom," squeaks Richard. And George has his toy, Mr. Dinosaur. "Dinosaur!" growls George. Peppa and George get out their musical toys and make lots and lots of noise. Laughs Peppa, very proud of herself. "Hooray!" cheer Richard and Rebecca. Now Susie Sheep has arrived and Mummy Pig has made lunch for everyone. "Gobble, gobble, delicious," everyone cries. "Burp," burps Peppa. "Excuse me." It's stopped raining, says Mummy Pig. "Let's take the leftover bread and feed the ducks." "Squeak, squeak," queers Rebecca Rabbit. "Shall we give them carrots?" Rebecca Rabbit likes carrots. "I think the ducks would prefer bread," smiles Mummy Pig. Says George, jumping up and down. "Peppa, George," says Mummy Pig, "let Daddy put on your rain boots first." "Yes, George," says Peppa. "If you jump in muddy puddles, you must wear your boots." "We're going to see the ducks. We're going to see the ducks," sings Peppa. George, Susie, Rebecca and Richard all join in very loudly. "Ho ho," laughs Daddy Pig. "What a lovely song, but you don't have to sing it quite so loudly." "Hello, Mrs. Duck," cries Peppa, throwing some crumbs. "I hope you're hungry." It's Richard Rabbit's first time feeding the ducks, and he's a bit scared. "Don't be scared, Richard," says Peppa. "They won't hurt you. Watch me." Peppa shows Richard how to feed the ducks. "Wah, wah, wah, wah," shouts Richard. "Dinosaur!" shouts George. "Arr!" "Silly George," laughs Peppa. "You always say dinosaur for everything." "Why don't you find some muddy puddles to jump in?" says Mummy Pig. "Yippee!" Peppa shouts. Splish splash. Everyone is having a wonderful noisy time jumping and splashing. Here is Danny Dog and his mummy. Danny jumps in a great big puddle. Squelch! Oops! He splashed Daddy Pig's glasses. "Oh dear," says Peppa. "Now Daddy will be grumpy." "I am not grumpy," snorts Daddy Pig. "How about a nice quiet game of hide and seek?" suggests Mummy Pig. "Yippee!" shouts Peppa. "I'm brilliant at seeking." Everyone hides while Peppa covers her eyes and counts to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. George isn't very good at hiding. He stands by a tree with his eyes closed. Peppa thinks this is very funny and decides to surprise him. Very quietly, she creeps up behind him. Grunts Peppa loudly. Oh dear! George is very surprised and drops Mr. Dinosaur into a muddy puddle. George starts to cry. Peppa, have you been teasing George? Says Mummy Pig. Sorry, George, says Peppa. All the parents have come to collect the children. It is time to go home. Goodbye, everyone, cheers Peppa. Everybody waves goodbye. Ho ho, chuckles Daddy Pig. Peace at last. It's time for Peppa and George to go to bed. First, they brush their teeth. Scrub, scrub. Now let's have a nice, quiet bedtime story, says Mummy Pig. What shall we read? Asked Daddy Pig. Can we have one all about music? Peppa asks. I love music. Daddy Pig begins the bedtime story. It's about two very noisy piggies playing very noisy musical instruments. Peppa, George, and even Mr. Dinosaur join in all the actions. Roar, roar, growls George. Laughs Peppa. Peppa and George are a little bit sleepy. George starts to fall asleep first. That wasn't a very quiet day, giggles Peppa, yawning. No, it was a very noisy day, Peppa, replies Daddy Pig, smiling. But Peppa is already fast asleep. The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa the Mermaid. One afternoon, Peppa and Rebecca Rabbit were playing mermaids. Aren't mermaids amazing, Rebecca? Said Peppa. I'd love to have a shiny tail and swim underwater every day. Peppa pretended to swim around the room, swishing her imaginary tail. Peppa, called Daddy Pig, time for lunch. At lunch, Peppa couldn't stop talking about mermaids. Mermaids only eat starfish-shaped sandwiches, she said. Mermaids can swim and dance at the same time. Let's have an under-the-sea party, said Rebecca. Yes, cheered Peppa. I can dress as a mermaid. Lovely idea, said Mummy Pig. We can have it this Sunday. Peppa and Rebecca made some under-the-sea party invitations. Very shiny, said Daddy Pig. Just like mermaids' tails, said Peppa. The next day, Peppa handed out the invitations. I'm having a mermaid under-the-sea party tomorrow, she told everyone at the playgroup. It's going to have a beach, a disco, an underwater tea party with starfish-shaped sandwiches. That night, Peppa was very excited. I've told everyone there's going to be a beach, a disco, and a starfish-shaped sandwiches at my party tomorrow. That party isn't tomorrow, Peppa. It's on Sunday, said Mummy Pig. You'll have to wait one more day. But I told everyone the party was tomorrow, said Peppa. She pulled out an invitation from under her pillow. Oh no, said Mummy Pig, looking at the invitation. We forgot to put the date on the invitations. Well, we'll just have to do what we can for tomorrow then, said Daddy Pig, smiling. Don't worry, Peppa, said Mummy Pig. We'll sort something out. Now get some sleep and we'll see you in the morning. Mummy and Daddy Pig raced downstairs to do some research on the family computer. Now let's see what we can find, said Daddy Pig. The computer screen filled with lots of amazing ideas for an under-the-sea party. Those look great, Daddy Pig, said Mummy Pig. But how are we going to do them all for tomorrow? Daddy Pig thought hard. I'm not sure, he said, yawning. I am a little bit tired. Maybe we should get some help. Yes, agreed Mummy Pig. What about that big red button? Miss Rabbit, emergency party planner and entertainer extraordinaire, Daddy Pig read. Perfect, said Daddy Pig. He pressed the big red button. Just then, there was a knock at the door. Miss Rabbit, emergency party planner and entertainer extraordinaire, said Miss Rabbit. I hear you are in need of an under-the-sea party. Yes, said Daddy Pig, telling Miss Rabbit their ideas. For tomorrow. No problem, said Miss Rabbit. You go to bed. I've got this. In the morning, Peppa and her family woke up and walked downstairs. When they reached the living room, they were amazed. Their house had been transformed into an underwater wonderland. Look, George, there's a beach, gasped Peppa, and waves. Wow, said Daddy Pig. The living room looks just like the Great Barrier Reef from our trip to Australia. Peppa found some costumes hanging up. Ooh, she squealed in delight. This mermaid costume has the shiniest tail I've ever seen. Mammy and Daddy Pig went into the kitchen and looked in the fridge. It was full of delicious food. Miss Rabbit is amazing, said Daddy Pig. She really is, agreed Mammy Pig. That afternoon, Peppa and George's friends arrived. They were all dressed in underwater costumes. Hello, said Peppa, swimming up to greet them. I'm Peppa the Mermaid, and this is George the Crab. Welcome to our under-the-sea home. Wow! Everyone gasped. After everyone had arrived, Miss Rabbit swam into the room. Hello, sea creatures, she began. It's time for your underwater adventure. Hooray! Cheered Peppa and her friends. First, Miss Rabbit asked the children to wiggle their toes in the sand. Ew, it feels all tickly, said Peppa. Next, Miss Rabbit handed out seashells. Put the shells to your ears and tell me what you can hear. The sea, shouted all the children. Then Miss Rabbit gave them some smelly toy fish. Take a good sniff. What can you smell? Ugh, shouted the children. Fishy. Well, we are at the seaside, said Miss Rabbit. Now, sea creatures, said Miss Rabbit, are you ready to dive down to the bottom of the ocean for an underwater tea party? Yes, shouted the children. After everyone had eaten, Miss Rabbit taught the children how to swans. It's swimming and dancing at the same time, yelled Miss Rabbit over the music, frantically waving her arms around. Follow me. Swim, swim, big fish, little fish. Being a mermaid is amazing, Daddy, cried Peppa. Can we have an under-the-sea party next week? We'll see, Peppa, joked Daddy Pig, as he swanced around the room. Being a mermaid is a lot of fun. The end. Let's go shopping, Peppa. Once upon a time, Peppa and George were having their breakfast. What are we doing today, Daddy? Asked Peppa. We need to go shopping, replied Daddy Pig, rubbing his tummy. For lunch. Yippee! Cheered Peppa and George. They loved going shopping. When breakfast was finished, everyone jumped into the car. We're here! Cheered Peppa when they arrived at the supermarket. Peppa and George leapt out of the car and started jumping up and down excitedly. They loved the supermarket. First, we need a trolley, said Peppa. Daddy Pig put George in the trolley, said George happily. Daddy, said Peppa, can I sit in the trolley too? Laughed Daddy Pig. You're too big, Peppa, but you can help with the shopping. Oh, goody, said Peppa, skipping into the supermarket. There was so much to see inside. Can we get one of everything? Asked Peppa. No, Peppa, that would be far too much, replied Mummy Pig. But how do we know what to get? Asked Peppa. We use this, said Daddy Pig, holding up a piece of paper. Ugh, said Peppa. What's that? It's our shopping list, explained Mummy Pig. We have 4 things on our list. Daddy Pig looked at the list closely and read it aloud slowly. 4 tomatoes, spaghetti, 4 onions, fruit. 4 tomatoes, spaghetti, 4 onions, fruit. I'll find it all, said Peppa. I can see the tomatoes, cried Peppa. Peppa counted 4 tomatoes as Mummy Pig put them into a bag. 1, 2, 3, 4. She skipped off to put them in the trolley. Daddy Pig crossed them off the list. What's next on the list? Asked Mummy Pig. Can you remember? Spaghetti! Cheered Peppa. Spaghetti! Cheered George. Spaghetti was Peppa and George's favourite. I can see it, cried Peppa. Follow me. Peppa found the spaghetti and put it in the trolley. Well done, Peppa, said Mummy Pig. Peppa and George couldn't remember what was next on the list. Dinosaur, guessed George. George, said Peppa, there aren't any dinosaurs in the supermarket. Daddy Pig laughed. Onions are next. Onions? Cried Peppa. I remember. She raced off and counted 4 onions into a bag. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then she put them in the trolley. Well done, Peppa, said Daddy Pig, crossing them off the list. The last thing on the list was fruit. I'll get it, cried Peppa. It's George's turn now, said Mummy Pig. Replied George. How about bananas, suggested Peppa, or apples, or pears, or oranges. George shook his head. He didn't want any of Peppa's suggestions. He wanted a very big watermelon. George was very happy with his choice, even though it was bigger than him. Daddy Pig passed George the watermelon. It was very heavy. George dropped the watermelon in the trolley. It was so big, the whole trolley shook. Everyone laughed. Well done, George. Daddy Pig crossed fruit off the shopping list. That's everything, said Mummy Pig. Let's head to the checkout and pay. At the checkout, Peppa and Daddy Pig put the food on the conveyor belt. Miss Rabbit scanned each thing. Tomatoes, beep. Onions, beep. Watermelon, beep. Spaghetti, beep. Great big chocolate cake, beep. Chocolate cake? Said Mummy Pig, Peppa and George. That wasn't on the list. Peppa, did you put a chocolate cake in the trolley? Asked Mummy Pig. No, Mummy, replied Peppa. George, did you put a chocolate cake in the trolley? Asked Mummy Pig. No, replied George. Well, I didn't put it in the trolley, said Mummy Pig. Then who did? Asked Peppa. Said Daddy Pig, holding up the chocolate cake guiltily. I thought it might be nice for pudding. Daddy Pig, said Mummy Pig. Sorry, said Daddy Pig, turning red. It just looked so delicious. It does look rather yummy, said Mummy Pig. Let's pretend it was on the list. Hooray! Everyone cheered. When Peppa and her family arrived home, it was time for lunch.
Hooray!
They had delicious spaghetti, followed by a big piece of watermelon and a great big slice of chocolate cake. Peppa, George, Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig loved going shopping for food. But they loved eating it most of all. The end. Peppa Pig Puddle Playtime. Peppa and George have found a puddle. It is very big and very muddy.
Hooray!
George scoops some mud into his bucket. Says Peppa. I love playing in muddy puddles. Touch the shiny bucket of mud. Mummy Pig has come outside with her umbrella. Time to put on your rain clothes, she says. Peppa and George go to get changed. The rain makes their puddle even bigger.
Wow!
Touch the shimmery raindrops. Look, says Mummy Pig. Someone else likes jumping in the mud. Peppa gasps. A little green frog has hopped into the garden. Touch the bumpy frog. 3 ducks have waddled up to see Peppa and George. Do you want to play with us too? Asked Peppa. The ducks jump into the muddy puddle. Touch the fluffy duck. Hello, snorts Daddy Pig. I hear there's some puddle jumping going on. There is, giggles Peppa. Jump in, Daddy. Peppa loves muddy puddles. Everyone loves muddy puddles. Touch the icky, sticky mud. The end.
Hi kids, did you have fun watching this video? Then like and subscribe for more.